All right, what's up YouTube? Today we are going to do a full-length tutorial on how to do a fringe crop. We're gonna use Denny here as a subject. As you can tell, he's in dire need of a haircut. So we're gonna do a fringe crop on him with a skin fade on the side and some beard work. Okay? So, again, as always, start by draping our client. Get you a neck strip. I'm seeing too many barbers on Instagram not use neck strips. I don't know what the hell y'all are doing, but cut that off. Okay, so we have him draped. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna comb through his hair and see if we have any cowlick areas that we need to focus on or hide or accentuate or anything like that. So grab us a comb. First thing we're gonna do is comb all the front hair from the crown forward, and then the back from the cowlick area, we're gonna comb it straight down. Okay, new comb because I don't know what the hell I did with my last one. But anyways, like I said, we're gonna comb everything down in a direction that it naturally wants to fall. And then we're going to start paying attention to his head shape, because this is what's going to tell us how high to take our crop and what shape to make our crop. Should we make it a rounded crop, a squared crop? So, looking at Denny's face, you can see he has a squared face. Okay, he has a flat head, flat sides, and a strong jawline, but it's not defined. Okay, so and if you can't tell what their jawline looks like because they have facial hair, what you do is you ask them how they're going to wear their facial hair. If they're going to point it and make it slim, then you adjust accordingly to that. Okay, so to start with, we're going to set our perimeter of where, so for his shape, we're going to do a squared shape to keep his natural shape. Okay, so now we're going to wet the hair. Okay. Now for our perimeter, we're going to start at the front, set our fringe area, and then we're going to work our way around the perimeter of the head, working along the parietal ridge to set our perimeter. So, I'll show you guys an easy thing that I learned from Justin Thomas on how to find, how to find somebody's fringe area, okay? Easy way for everybody's head shape is the same way. Find the center of their cowlick, okay? Set your middle finger there. You guys remember those protractors where it would like stay same distance? So you go middle finger on the center of their cowlick, thumb on their occipital bone, which is here, and then you keep that same shape and you protractor that around. Let's see if I can do this with spinning him. Okay, boom. Now that is where his fringe area is going to start, right there. Now when you measure that out, the hair should part there effortlessly, like such. Okay, so we're going to make diagonal partings. Now if you notice, that part line should be right at his recession. Okay? Simplest way to find your fringe. Right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to measure the distance of what we're going to set our front length at. So for his, we're going to go short. So we're going to go about here. That's going to tell me my perimeter, how I want to go around to keep the same shape. So To do so, I'm going to wet his hair a little bit more. Wet hair is easier to cut than dry. And today, I'm going to be using my Moto shears. These are my 5.5s. And then I'm also going to be using my 7s. Okay? So, what we're going to do now is we're going to comb our hair down. And we're going to take our length of what we're going to cut. And we're going to do this the easy, quick way. I'm not going to section this off in a million pieces. So, we're going to take this. We're going to set our perimeter up front. We're going to set our fringe. Okay. We want to make sure that's straight and even. Then he's over here dying because he has sweat and water in his eyes. Okay. So now what we can do is we can start to pull this other section forward. Now this should all fall into place. Boom. Look at that. Without having to cut anything off the top. Fell right into place. So now we're going to take our perimeter and we're going to come down. We're going to grab a parallel line of where we set our perimeter and we're going to follow that around the distance of his head. Okay? This is going to set our ending point for what we fade into. So you use this just like a traveling guide and work your way around the head, pulling finger length out, or finger width I should say. Okay. Now if you can see, we should start to have, let me zoom this in. Okay. Now we should start to have a perimeter showing here, straight across. You can see where our short hair is. Boom. That's our perimeter. Okay. I'm going to continue that around the head. Same thing on this other side. We're going to take from our same section, right? Part that there. Use that piece. And we're following the parietal ridge all the way around the head. So if it starts to drop, we drop with the natural angle of that.
Hello. Hey. Sorry. Just figuring out daycare for my kid. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Have I cut your hair before?
No.
Oh. Have you been here before?
No.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna get next strips that I call all on.
Okay, so now we should have a perimeter set, right? So now we know everything that we fade from this distance to this distance, we're gonna end at this length, okay? Which is our finger width, which for me is a number 4 guard. Okay? Drop some. So now, so the Three Stooges thing?
Huh?
Is it the Three Stooges thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so now we have our perimeter set. Now in the effort of saving time, we're gonna clear all this bulk out
All right.
with our finger length guard.
Well, I don't know. I was gonna see what you were thinking. I have that set of clippers at home, and I just wanted to
Which
have
ones?
everything, the 76s.
Oh, you want an expensive pair of clippers to do your own hair, huh?
Yeah.
Or were they hand-me-downs?
So today I'm gonna be using the Wall Seniors
Yeah.
cordless,
And,
and we're gonna take a number 4 guard,
ladies, so
and we're gonna set our perimeter.
Two days, and they both weren't very exciting, and so I wanted to know what days you wanted to do.
My favorite doing all day long is ball fade. You go ball fade? Or doing like baby butt smooth?
I don't know if I can do that.
Okay.
And I always say that because, like, I sweat a lot of work, so sometimes I do like their heat bumps. I don't know if I want to hide that a little bit, maybe.
So we're going to do like maybe a 1? 1.5?
So as you guys can tell,
Maybe like a 1.
Okay.
by using my number
So you do a
4
1
guard,
side and back, and then what would you like to do on top?
by using my number 4 guard, I'm already at my finger length. So
Okay.
this
I don't
already
know what you.
falls into place as is with just a number 4 guard. So now I know
Basically, I'll just fade that
all I
up.
need to do is fade
Very
from
high fade.
whatever length I'm gonna do on the bottom, which
I
is
would
skin,
not take any
to a number
pictures
4.
Because the length on the top is longer in that picture than it
Is
is
it?
what you have.
Okay.
So, if this is what we're gearing towards getting to, we can most definitely start the process of getting to there.
Okay.
But today I would just say we just take that 1, tie up, and, line up your edges if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Line up in here, around here, and everything.
Okay.
And then,
And then you like zero it out on the bottom, or?
oh yeah, we clean up the back absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Every day goes so far.
Busy. Yes. It does. My only dilemma was I get here at 11:15ish, 11:30ish
Yeah.
most days, and one of our barbers is gone, so I came in early, which was like 8:30 this morning. I don't do 8:30 in the morning
No.
very well. What is your
My
wife?
kids-
Okay, so now we have our perimeter set. Now we're gonna measure from his parietal ridge to the base of his fade, how much room we have to fade. Okay, and how we're gonna do that,
So how'd your
we're gonna find his
Uh,
parietal ridge, which is right where the comb bends.
Oh, that's right, I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah.
You told me about that.
But we already know where it is because we've set his
I
perimeter
work with
already.
him now, so he was telling me about this place.
So now what we do, take from the perimeter, take out occipital bone, and we trace that around. So we know that I can bald him out from the top of his ear
So there was
down and follow the natural curve.
Right on Bucks and
So let's do that.
I was telling him about that. I was like, oh, they don't know what they're doing.
Yes, he is dating my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Summer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met her once.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Okay, so again, Wall Seniors closed. We're gonna set our first guideline.
Yeah, we were just over there on Sunday. They watched our little girl because it was our anniversary this weekend. So, I'm very happy.
Okay,
Wedding
so
anniversary? Or?
Yeah. Our
First
year
section.
anniversary.
Oh, okay. Nice.
set.
Exactly.
Now we're gonna use our
Yeah.
Bronze Series 9 shavers and bald them all the way out.
I'm very blessed. I'm very wonderful.
Now, as you can tell, I did not take the bald line all the way to the first guideline because I want that little bit of transition for the fade. Now our next guideline, we're gonna set in, because we wanna clear out some of the bulk of where we're gonna fade, we're gonna use the number 1, we're gonna open it all the way up. We're gonna go about to the edge of where the end of his box would end. It's gonna look like this. Okay, now if you notice, I'm keeping my same shape throughout the whole head. So I'm keeping my angle the same. I'm not squaring this off. I'm keeping my drop towards the back. Okay?
Good days, your bad days.
So with that number 1 open set, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our half guard. We're gonna close it about a quarter of the way, so we have about 3/4 open. Then we're gonna keep the clipper, here's the head. We're gonna keep the clipper flat, and we're gonna make a straight line up and down right below the 1.5, the 1 open that we just made. Okay?
Oh, are they old enough to work?
Oh yeah. The older two are. The little one's 8, so not
As
quite.
you can tell, I'm not digging in.
So you
I'm
can
just
do rib scraping
flipping.
for school?
Well, she goes
Scraping,
to-
I guess, if you would.
Montessori or
Oh,
school?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is actually make her play here.
Is that,
Then we'll take her to Cal Valley.
is that like a lottery thing?
No.
No? You just enroll?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's.
Okay. Now,
Oh, I thought it was like a...
because we're down below 1, we're gonna switch to our brush. Get rid of our comb so we can brush away any debris. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fade from our half guard 3/4 of the way open. We're going to go open, okay? We're going to go halfway, and then closed all the way. Should blend us out to ball. Okay, so we're going to go open. And again, we're going right below where we left that
Yeah.
3/4 away
It's a
open
tire place,
half.
it's a tire place. So, yeah, I know, right?
That place is so nice.
Yeah, Jose, he's the owner. He still does like catering events and stuff like that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have him as my Facebook friend.
Nice.
Yeah, he does stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get pizza.
Yeah.
Halfway.
I was also always like, you know, this is my favorite place. Bar for a few drinks.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we just walk because we live down the street,
Uh-huh.
you know.
And then all the way close.
Yeah, he'd always throw me like a free taco or something. Or,
Yeah, he's a nice man. His son's in the Marine.
Oh yeah, he told me
Okay,
about that.
that's going to blend us out all the way to ball. Now,
Good people,
our next
good Marine
guideline.
people, you know?
Yeah.
We're going to take our half guard, we're going to close it, and we're going to go another inch, half inch to an inch above, but we're going to stay right below his parietal ridge where we set our ridge line at. Okay, 1.5 closed.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta go clean up because on Friday we're going to Hawaii.
Ooh. Well,
In the valley.
it's not the one that's exploding, right? Or is it? The
Okay.
Well, it's kind of like.
Now to clean up that faint line that we left in there,
Oh.
we're going to go one up, one.
Be like all honeymoon
Open.
style.
You see there's a faint line in there that we need to knock out. So, one open. Make sure we're going all the way against the grain.
Open to the best.
So you pay attention to the hair growth. And now let's blend it out. Okay. Now to tie in this, we're gonna shear over comb that. Okay, so we're gonna grab our 7-inch shears. 7-inch moto shears. And we're gonna pull this straight down on the sides. And we're gonna almost separate this to where it's a part line. We're gonna blend all this in and then slowly start pulling pieces in, okay? And again on this one, we're gonna go straight up because we're trying to make a square shape. We're not gonna go in because we're not gonna make a rounded shape. straight off the head.
What about you? Any children?
Yeah, I got two. One's 5 and the other one's 9.
Oh, financials.
So they
Boy and a girl?
no both girls.
Ooh.
Not numbered.
Sorry.
They're tough ones too.
Okay, so now we're gonna pull this down.
Yeah, I think
Again, straight off the head.
Woodland Elementary.
Again, there's not gonna be too much to cut once you get past the parietal. It's pretty much just gonna be blending. So, as you guys can see, that's already
Not the greatest school district.
falling into place. Gonna tilt his
And then
head,
where you can start.
and then around the cowlick area.
Yeah, 'cause
Same thing.
Would that have
We're
been
just straight up.
Alder
I have
Elementary right
no
there?
idea. I just knew that.
You just knew you're like,
Yeah.
Or,
Well, and honestly, to be honest with you, like, you know, thankfully I have a mother-in-law who loves her only one and only grandchild,
yeah.
baby girl to death. So we have that help. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to have her go to that school either,
That's good,
you
yeah.
know, because.
Okay, now
Yeah. So.
that's how it's blended in. Now we're gonna take our Slimline Pros, turn him towards us, and we're gonna line up this corner here.
Somewhere we're just gonna get somewhere on, you know?
Yeah, big class.
Well, they're nuns, so her teacher's name is Sister Jacinta. So the way that it works is they have first, second, and third graders in the class. And so like she's gonna be a third grader this year, so like she will be the one who like helps the first graders. Like, okay, let's do your counting. They try to keep them
Okay.
really independent.
And as you can tell, we have a little piece hanging
So
over here.
This year she'll be the one who they'll
So we're
say-
gonna pull this up
say,
with
"Hey,
our
Leah,
shears.
Maggie in the stage wants to read The Cat in the Hat. You know how to read The Cat in the Hat. Why don't you go sit over there and help her read? You know, it teaches them just, I don't know how they explain it. It's really cool.
I like
We're gonna
that.
tell us to use yourself.
So, Denny's feeling it already.
Oh, yeah.
So now we're gonna take his front fringe a little bit shorter.
Yeah, it's just really cool. You know, once in a while it's like, well, it's also me too. I have to take her to school every day and I have to pick her up. So like, pick up 3:30.
The reason I'm doing
So that's
this
like when the shop gets busy.
is because I want to create the illusion of him having a really nice hairline.
Since kindergarten. So, I told her, after this last year, like, she just needs.
And then once we texture the top, this will soften up the front too.
Yeah, that would be nice for that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this side is done. Let's blow him off real quick. And before we do any texturizing,
You drew up something.
we're going to do some color enhancing.
Let that one go for now.
I think so. Or after his video.
You won't forget it.
We use our airbrush gun and a little business card. And we're going to enhance his. For some reason, my airbrush is not wanting to fire, so we're going to hang tight real quick. We're going to fix this. Be right back. Okay, purged my line and my air compressor. We're back to business.
And these are actually the same as the form.
Let's, okay, so business card on the side.
Idea.
We're gonna,
Yeah. Absolutely.
spray them down with the enhancer.
Just did the little suction thing to get them off.
Let's
Painted and then-
zoom that in.
Bam, so right back
So
on.
that's what your enhancement's gonna look like.
Yeah, repurposing is great.
Not too crazy, but just enough. And then because we mix ours with alcohol, we have a little bit of time to still line this up while it's wet. So that's gonna be your one side. Right there. Nice fade, nice crop. Now let's do the other side. Okay, so for this side, I'm gonna kind of do it full speed because
Just like the picture.
for the sake of saving time in this tutorial, I'm just gonna do full speed,
Alright, so I'm gonna give you the smear.
and you guys can see how long this haircut actually takes. So.
Like this one, I just texturize for a little bit, so these layers sound just a little longer than what we got going on right now. And then that way my hair is just kind of cleaning up a little bit. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Would you like to do harder cash this?
I know that's hard.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just plus you.
That's the bomb, so.
Angel, it was so nice to meet you. I hope to see you soon.
I will see you next time.
All right, I will be here.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye.
So right here I'm just going through and detailing some work. I've seen some dark spots, so just going through and touching up some work before I move on to my scissor work. My shear work, I should say. So now I'm going to start my shear work. Separate this out again. Again, straight off the head. Okay, so now we have this side done. I'm going to tighten the front of his fringe again. Boom. Line up his side. Trim that little piece. Okay, now let's enhance this side. Same thing, business card. And then when you do this, you want to kind of spray the card first and then feather it over. And like I said, because we use alcohol in ours, we can touch up any overspray. Bada bing, bada boom. There's your fade. Whoa! There's your fade in your crop. Now let's texturize the top. And then put some product in there and style it. Then we'll move on to the beard. Okay, so first things first, what we're gonna do with the top is we're gonna re-wet it down a little bit. And some of this hair back here is long, so I want to trim it down and give it some texture. So I'm gonna pull vertical sections. I'm gonna pull vertical sections and then cut about 1/2 inch off. Grab myself a new comb. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna pull vertical sections going towards the front of the crop. This is gonna define our length and also add texture.
He was out playing pool with us till like 2 in the morning.
Oh, really?
No, Alex.
Oh, what was this?
It was,
All right,
Oh,
so
Friday night.
Oh, so he only hangs out with clients, not his coworkers.
There's-
I get it. I get it.
there's your texture.
I get it.
Let's take a brief break while I cuts through layout. I'll be right back. Okay, so to add a little bit more
I'm
texture,
just like,
what we're gonna
whatever,
do,
and I was telling Tricia,
I'm gonna add a little bit more water.
especially with him, you know, whatever.
and I'm gonna use a comb and my Tomb45 straight razor, and we're gonna texture doing razor over comb, like such. So we're gonna comb through the hair, and we're gonna texturize
Oh, fuck, I got screwed there.
up top. So it's gonna look just like this. Can you tilt his head down?
I actually did some labor.
He was in here laying down the floor.
I could have done this for him at night, easy. Well,
They did
shorter.
do it
Oh,
at
it
night.
would be fast. I've done like a full downstairs in a multi-story house.
So when you're doing this texturizing, you want to only use the weight of the razor. You don't want to add any extra weight because then you're going to start taking chunks of hair out, and you're going to hate your life. So just use the weight of the razor. Keep it as low of an angle as you can.
From her mom's house, and I'm going to this wedding, and she's upstairs teaching, thinking she's gonna fucking home. He's like, I'm not taking her to a wedding.
How'd she get home? Wasted.
I chose that.
So with the razor cutting,
Somebody just needs to call her.
and then we're going to slide cut also. So
The car.
we're going to slide cut. We're going to lock our shears like this, and we're going to run through his hair in diagonals. Now, what this is going to look like, I'm going to do with my shears closed to start with. We're going to go, now the steeper, like the flatter the angle that you go, the heavier the texture. The steeper the angle you go, the softer the texture. Okay? So we're going to do like this. We're going to go for Denny's, we want heavy texture. So we're just going to lock our shears, and we're going to go across pretty flat. And as we get up here, we can start adding movement. Okay? I'm going to ruffle that up, and then we're going to go the other way. Same technique, but we're going to go the other way.
I heard some, yeah, that was actual news.
Oh, it was?
I think so.
I think it was too.
Yeah.
I actually heard from that she was.
Okay, so now what this is going to look like, once we blow dry and style that, it's going to look insane. But before we do that, because I'm waiting on my clay to get delivered, we're going to do his beard. So to do his beard, actually I'm not going to do his beard in this video just because it's pretty simple. We're just going to line up his beard and then even everything out. So I will see you guys when we get the clay. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. An hour and a half later, the package has arrived. We are going to not saturate, but wet his hair. Okay, not super wet, but not dry. Just between wet and damp. That's what we want. Okay, and then we're going to teach you guys how to use Tomb45's Indestructible clay. Looks like this. You can purchase this at tomb45.com. It's down below. So his hair is wet. We're going to apply this wet because this product has bentonite clay in it. So when it's wet, it's very slick and it coats the hair evenly. And then when dried, it swells to 6 times its natural size, giving it an amazing texture. So we're going to use about this much on his hair. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus. About a fingertip's worth. Okay. And what we're going to do is we want to make sure we have all of his hair wet. Not just some of it. Okay. Then what we're going to do is you're going to rub it in your hands until it's all the way heated up, and it should be completely transparent. You should not be able to see it on your hands. Should look like this. See, you can't see anything on my hands. It's there, very sticky. We're going to just slowly massage it into the hair. Make sure we get an even coverage. Applying it wet will make it a lot easier to apply. And then what we're going to do is we're going to blow dry it with medium heat, high volume. We're just going to use our hands to do it, and this is going to bring out a ton of texture. Okay, you guys will see it once we get done. Okay, and literally to blow dry style it, we're just going to take our blow dryer using the Babyliss Ceramic Pro. And we're going to go medium heat, so warm, and then high volume. Okay, with a direction nozzle on there. And pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow dry this way with the direction of which I want the hair to lay. And I'm going to use my opposite hand and ruffle his hair to create the textured look. Okay, so something like this. Let me turn this a little bit. Very quick because the clay also absorbs moisture, so it styles up extremely quick. So this should be your finished look, heavily textured up top. As you can see, it softens the front end up a whole bunch when you use the clay. If you want to, you can use a comb to straighten out the front. If you do want the blunt texture, and then you can use your fingers to kind of ruffle the back up to give you that messy texture look. Okay, now by blow drying product into the hair, you're gonna actually get it into the center of the hair, the cortex. It's cortex, right? Center of the hair is the cortex?
I'm sorry, the what?
Cortex?
I thought it's the occipital. Wait, occipital?
No, the center of your hair.
I don't know.
Cortex, and then I
8
think
years ago.
I want to say
8 years ago with school, okay?
I want to say it's the cortex. If I'm wrong, comment below. But I want to say by blow drying it in, you get it to the center of the cortex of your hair.
The world.
And
It's
then,
called the world.
and then you cold shot it, and then that locks it in. So there's your look. Do one last final spin. We also did Denny's beard off camera, so comment below what you think of that. But there's your textured crop. Follow this over like that. Full length tutorial. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you liked it, comment below. If you hated it, comment even more below. And we'll see you guys on the next one. What do you think, Jenny?
Love it. Hell yeah, dude.
You better. God.